The word on the street is that Joe Shane has Shedeur Sanders as his number one quarterback in the 2025 class. And there's a real shot that he falls to Big Blue at pick number 3. My question to you, though, is this. Who do you think is the better quarterback? Who would you rather have under center for the G-Men? Shedeur? Cam? Let me know. Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. We're like 90-something days away from the NFL draft, and the rumors are heating up. Connor Hughes of SNY did a mailbag where he answered questions from subscribers to SNY, and the question was, who do you think is the number one quarterback on the Giants' big board? And he wrote this. The talk around league circles has been Shedeur Sanders. It's been that way since before the season ended. The Giants actually had a completed report on Sanders ready if he declared for the 2024 NFL draft. He would have been a target for the Giants in the second or third round. So there's that. I did not know the Giants thought he could have came out last year and that they did a full report on him and they had a second or third round grade on him. I do know that the Giants have done a lot of work on Sanders, and it has been public that the New York Giants have done a lot of work on Shedeur Sanders. Joe Shane himself hopped on a PJ owned by John Mara and went to not one, not two, but 3 Colorado football games this year. Giants staff members were present, to my knowledge, at a minimum of 4 Colorado football games this year. The Giants also went to a practice in Boulder in the spring. They also went to a practice in Boulder in December. There's Brandon Brown, there's Joe Shane, there's Tim McDonald, and there's once a Giant, always a Giant, Jesse Armstead. They sent the entire crew down to Boulder. The Giants have done a lot of work on him. And there's been a lot of smoke about the Giants being in love with Shedeur Sanders. Remember the rumor that came out a couple of weeks ago? That Brandon Brown is in full bloom love with Sanders. We had that. We talked about that. What about when Dion Sanders went on the Pac-Man Jones show and he said this? This was back in December when the Giants had the number 1 overall pick. Pac-Man said the Raiders are going to slide up to get the number 1 pick. Then Dion said they have to slide. Pac-Man said, well, they're at number 2 right now. Dion said, who's number 1? Pac-Man said, the Giants are number 1. Dion says, Giants are not going to give up that pick. They're not going to give up that pick. I know that for a fact. If the Giants are the number 1 pick, who is it? Said Pac-Man. And Mr. Primetime says Shedeur is going to be the number 1 pick. Sounds like Dion Sanders knows that Shedeur Sanders is number 1 on the Giants board. Because it sounded like just a couple of weeks ago, before the Giants got a meaningless win in Week 17, that Shedeur Sanders was going to be the number 1 overall pick. And I would not be shocked if Shedeur is, or was, Joe Shane's guy in this draft. Would not be shocked if he's the number 1 quarterback on their big board. But I also want to go back to a report that we broke down on this very channel, where Todd McShay, longtime ESPN NFL insider, now does his own thing. He reported that the Giants have a thing for Cam Ward. So maybe it's a lot of smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. But I think if you ask Joe Shane, I don't even think he knows who his number 1 QB is. Because they haven't talked to him at the combine. They haven't had him in for private workouts. They haven't had him on top 30 visits to 1925 Giants Drive. There's still a long way to go in this process. I'm not sure Joe knows who it is yet. But I do think they like both. Or at least they're giving off the illusion that they like both. And they want people to believe that they liked both. Maybe it's so if they both go 1 and 2, they can say, well, we liked them, but we couldn't move up to get them. Kind of like it did with Drake May. Kind of like they did with Jaden Daniels. I don't know. I think the Giants do like Cam Ward. I also think the Giants like Shedeur Sanders. I don't know who is number 1 on their board. I'll know this, though. If news comes out with concrete reports that the Giants have Sanders as number 1, we're going to do another video. So we'll have you covered the entire draft cycle like no one else on YouTube. Free videos, multiple videos, every day. So if you bleed Giants blue and you want to stay in the loop, hit that subscribe button. Coming up next, quick little Shedeur Sanders scouting report. There's some people that are really high on him. There's some people that are not. The NFL is supposed to be split. Some people have him as a first-round grade, some don't. Some have him as QB1, some have him as QB3. It's all about who do you trust? Can the Giants trust Shedeur Sanders? Scouting report in a second. First, though, I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Game Time. If you want last-minute tickets to go to an NFL playoff game, the best spot to get them is with our proud sponsor, Game Time. They guarantee that you're going to get the best seats for the lowest price, guaranteed. Prices actually drop as the events get closer. They excel, and they prioritize themselves as the best last-minute ticket spot. You get to see your seat view in the app. So if you're deciding on, do I want to sit here, do I want to sit here, you can get a different seat view inside the app. You get to access your tickets from your phone, so it's super easy to get into the stadium. You don't got to print anything out. It's easy to resell your tickets if you want to bail last minute. Last-minute tickets, what they specialize in. The app will alert you. They call them flash deals. They'll send you a push notification when great deals are going on. Views from the seat, lowest price guaranteed. And they have awesome features that guarantee you get the best price, like all-in pricing, no hidden fees at checkout, and Game Time Picks makes it that much more easy to go see your favorite people perform. So download the app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS. It's CHATSPORTS. And get $20 off first purchase. Returns do apply. All the information is clickable down in the comments and in the description. What time is it? It's game time. It's also time for a Shedeur Sanders scouting report. I want to be fully transparent. I have Cam Ward as my QB1. I have Shedeur Sanders as QB2. But the deeper I dive into the scouting reports, the deeper I dive into the film, and as I get more and more all 22 film to watch, I think the gap is starting to grow for me on who is QB1 and who is QB2. And I feel very comfortable that Cam Ward is that guy. But I like a lot of things about Shedeur Sanders. And if he's a Giant at 3, I'm going to be happy about it because I think there is a world where you can build an explosive offense around him and he could be the quarterback of a winning organization. This is a guy that is cool and calm under pressure, sometimes to a fault. And I don't mean pressure of big games. I'm talking about defensive line pressure, playing behind a bad offensive line. He did that at Colorado. He may have to do that for the New York Giants. And he is able to get through reads. He's able to process, and he's able to make throws in a muddy pocket. He is good under pressure. He's also, in my opinion, the most accurate quarterback in this class. I think he also may be the best quarterback, talking about processing, high IQ, talking about getting from read to read, his progressions, his ability to take care of the football and value each possession. Really accurate. I also love that he has 4 years of starting, and I've added this one. He's an underrated athlete. He's not a great athlete. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not someone that's going to get outside the pocket and run for 1,000 yards. He's not Justin Fields. Kind of reminds me of Geno Smith type of level. You run a zone read with him and that end doesn't hold contain, he's going to pull that and pick up 15. You're in the red zone and you run a zone read, he could pull it and march into the end zone. He can use his legs to buy time for his receivers to make plays downfield. He is an underrated athlete. That's for sure. The bad. Not really elite at any traits. I think his best skills are everything that's in between the ears. Processing, football IQ. I almost would say he's an overachiever for the talent that he has. Because he doesn't have a big arm. Not a great athlete. And look at the quarterbacks that are great in the NFL right now. Josh Allen, elite traits. Patrick Mahomes, elite traits. Lamar Jackson, elite traits. I think he holds the ball too long. A lot of sacks were credited to him. The O-line was bad, but I think sometimes his eyes will go from downfield to stare at the pressure to take the sack. And I worry where the ceiling is. And I sometimes worry if he's bigger than the team. 4 things that I worry about with him. But when it comes to throwing the football and being an accurate quarterback, he does that. Completion percentage, higher than Ward. Touchdown to INT interception ratio, about the same. Big time throw percentage, about the same. The turnover-worthy plays, you want that number closer to 0. Way more, way smarter. Way more calculated, way more ability to control the throw, control the smart play is Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. You look at some stuff under pressure. Pressured completion percentage, Shedeur Sanders. Turnover-worthy play percentage under pressure heavily favors Shedeur Sanders. Pressured big-time throw percentage, it favors Cam Ward. So Shedeur, I think, is much smarter with the football. I think he makes much smarter decisions. When you talk about taking the top off the defense, his completion percentage is technically higher on throws that travel 20-plus air yards than Cam Ward. But the adjusted completion percentage, which factors in drops, does lean towards Cam Ward. The big time throw percentage on those, both awesome. But think about it like this. Not one time where a ball traveled 20-plus yards in the air did Shedeur Sanders get dinged for a turnover-worthy play. He is super smart with the football. When you boil it down to 5 things that I like to talk about for quarterbacks: arm talent, decision-making, accuracy, playmaking, and leadership. Arm talent, it's Cam Ward, it's not close. Decision-making, it's Shedeur Sanders, not close. Accuracy, it's going to go to Shedeur Sanders, but it is close. Playmaking, Cam Ward, not close. And overall leadership, dog, I'll give that to Cam Ward. Not saying Shedeur's not a leader. I just think that Cam Ward is a little bit better of a leader. If you want the Giants to draft Shedeur Sanders, hit that thumbs up icon for me. I don't know if he's number 1. Connor Hughes says he is, so we'll listen to that. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG, @MarshallReed_. Hit me up, and let's go Big Blue.